this is the first ever event we are doing for under the WizIQ brand. And we wanted to name it Edtech.Now, and I'll come to that. So before I talk about who the speakers are and what they're going to talk about, what the session for today has for all of us, let me talk to you about a story. Let me tell you a story that I have, had a profound, impact on me, which encouraged me into education, technology, industry, and all that. So, in 2011, I was in California, in Los Angeles, and one of our customers at that time, still is a customer, he's a good friend now as well. He took me to a school in LA, in downtown LA, California, where he was using our technology. But I'll tell you how we got there. So he took me there, and this was, this, as you know, is one of the biggest cities in the world, one of the richest cities in the world. Now, we went there, and this was a shady part of the downtown. This was not a plush part of the downtown. So this is LA we are talking about. We go in there, the building looked a rundown building, like an old rundown town hall of the city. It looked more like that. We entered the school. I saw a lot of small classrooms cramped up with desks, but there were only about 100, 120 students in the school. It was a big school from that perspective. It had lots of desks, you could easily see. And I could see only 5 to 6 teachers, and all this time in my head was going on things like the school that I've studied in India. How does this school compare to the school that I've gone through? What are the differences? How are the kids? And the kids were mostly, from the lower socioeconomic group, mostly black and Hispanic kids. And you could see that, the parents would not be much educated, and the families would not be like that. And that is what the teachers also told me over there. Now, through one of the rooms, I also saw a concrete playground for the first time in my life. It was no grass whatsoever. It was pure concrete, and also had a basketball court. Some students were playing there. Now, all these thoughts were in my mind, and I could feel stress in the air in the whole school. And I had so many questions. I asked my friend what's going on, and that's when he told me just a week ago there was gun shooting in the school and one kid got killed. And here I am trying to compare the school with the schools I've gone through, and we've never experienced something like this. Now, that obviously was a shock to me, right? But then he also told me that it happens every few months, and once a while somebody gets killed. Now, this is a school we are talking about, right? We're not talking about gun violence and things like those. And then suddenly, no comparison of the schools that I've gone through. I had new set of questions at what's going on. Why are even these 120 kids who are there are actually there? How are their parents sending them there, right? Why would they do that? So, walking around the school in one of the rooms, I saw about 10 students sitting around one computer each with their headphones on, and I saw our software, virtual classroom software, being used there, and there were tutors teaching those kids. And guess what? These tutors were sitting in New Delhi, teaching these kids in LA. Now, there are no teachers in the school. There were 120 students, probably several hundred were supposed to be there, and tens of teachers were supposed to be there, and there were only 5 or 6. Now, see the will of the parents who wanted to send their kids to learn. And the school is paying for this tutoring program, and these schools, especially in LA, spend a lot of government money every year. About $8,000 to $10,000 or even more per student. They're paying the teachers who do not show up, obviously not, and eventually the students are learning from the tutors sitting in India who are being paid, but obviously not as much as American teachers. Now, this story had a profound impact, and over the years, then I observed on our platform as a lot of courses were being published by our customers, courses from Android development to iPhone development to any kind of programming to learning Russian, right? Test prep courses, IIT JEE prep, bank PO courses, and so on in India, right? So a lot of these courses also bought by students in India. Most of these courses that were being sold were actually instructor-led courses. Now, and they're far more expensive courses than you can imagine video courses. Now, these students who are buying these courses, they're learning, logging on every day with whatever internet lines they have in those days. They're very expensive courses. They know that much cheaper video courses are available on the internet. Khan Academy is for free. YouTube has so many videos, and there are so many such sites. And yet, they're buying these expensive courses. On top of that, the instructors that I'm talking about, while they're great instructors, our platform so far doesn't have mechanism to rate the instructors and so on, right? So these students do not know how good or bad the instructors are yet, and they're logging in buying. And I'm talking of the days in 2012, 13, when e-commerce and the payment systems are not there yet, right? The infrastructure is not there, and yet they're logging. Why? Now, so several of these experiences led me to conclude three things. One, people really want to learn. Okay, you saw in that example of the LA school that, you know, where people are getting killed and the parents are still sending their kids to school, right? These students are buying online and learning and all that stuff, right? Second, I realized that technology can solve so many problems of the industry. I mean, for instance, I was talking to Mr. Dham last evening, and we talked about one thing. Why is it that more than 60% of an education company or a school or a college cost actually goes in the real estate? That's not education. And yet we see the builders of the world, the real estate companies, in the education industry. There's something wrong there, right? So there are so many problems that technology can help. So that's the second learning I got. The third was technology alone cannot do the job. If there's no human involvement in learning, no instructor involvement, it's not going to work, period. So while these assumptions are, for me, for our organization, were really bold and against the wave, we took them. And we built our entire business around these assumptions. And today, after talking to Mr. Dham last evening and, you know, talking to several of the people you're going to hear today, I'm convinced we were right. We are right, right? The world is moving towards that. And hopefully, we can put together everything today to do this. However, when we talk about delivering great online education using technology, it's not a trivial job. It takes a lot. It takes great content. It takes great instructors. It takes a way to get yourself discovered in the market. It takes good technology that can do your job. And it takes a lot of processes. Now, in one of the panels, we have Mr. Akash Chaudhary of one of the largest test prep companies in the country. They've put together an awesome program proving this, right? When Akash called me, and said, Harman, hey, we'd like to use your technology to do this, I was elated. I was elated not just he's going to become our customer, but we'll have an opportunity to prove this in India. And the results are awesome. Just amazing how the consumer demand in India is picking up on this, right? And I know many people around here, or some people I should say, and many people around the world have tried this in the past, 5 years ago, right? And they weren't successful. Not because they didn't do things right, but because the consumer wasn't ready. However, today that's not the case. The consumer is ready. He's knocking at our doors. We just need to serve him right. So, and this is where we set up the purpose of WizIQ, right? Whatever vision, mission, whatever you want to call it, I like to call it a purpose for the existence of our company. It is to help education providers to deliver quality online education, whatever it takes. And as a part of that is why we started this event. While in the front of, we are technologists. We are building technology, we have lots of people in the organization doing all this stuff to make it easy, make it real, make it, really usable, result-oriented, all that stuff. But we wanted to get started with such an event. This is the first of the many to come. We're going to make it an annual practice. And so that all the elements of the ecosystem come together. And I see lots of people here from different parts. Some are instructors, some are technologists, some are content providers, to come under one roof, collaborate so that we can solve this big problem of the education industry. It is this room, people in this room, who are going to do that. It's just amazing. And I have this opportunity to touch base with almost all of you in different segments, and I can see and I can put things together in my head, right? We have Nelly here. She's an online educator, right? For many, many years, she's been using our platform. It's just amazing the kind of following she has. Many of the people here know her already, and this is the first time I'm meeting her, right? So there's some great insights in that panel. So coming up, we have Mr. Dham. We have Amit Sevak from Laureate, one of the largest private university businesses in the world. Mr. Dham is an inventor of Pentium, right? Revolutionized the entire PC industry, and he has some great things to talk about. We have Ratnesh Jha from Cambridge University Press, one of the best content companies out there in the world. And we have several other folks, and we have some pretty awesome sessions coming up, right from the test prep to investment in the education technology business and how the online educator's perspective is towards this whole ecosystem. So, so this is it from my side. Please welcome everybody. I hope you have a great time today, a lot of insights. Thank you.